Welcome to Nonlinear Storybits episode 3. So today's story, we're going to start off with another story. Recently, I was watching a Chinese historical idol drama when a moment caught me off guard and just left me gasping for air because it was too cute and my heart could not handle it for a sec. So the scene or arc starts off as our main female lead character was one day studying because she suddenly found herself as a contender for her country as the country's next ruler um, in a series of imperial examinations. But she was really not a good student and just was the type of student that you would probably now find sleeping away through all the classes and lectures. So our second male lead, being the second male lead, came to help her study when our male lead caught wind of this, and being a little bit jealous, he hurried over too. And he told the female lead character, "I'll teach you how to write the words that you need to know. Here's the first word. Let me write it for you on your back, and you can write it out on paper to practice writing it." And so the female lead character said, "Okay." The female lead character followed and wrote out this word, "mean." And our male lead character said, "Exactly, me. You are always on my heart." 心. Both literally, as you can see from the character itself, mean, and also figuratively, you are on my heart. This is so cute. So clever. What a nice play on words. It totally caught me off guard, and I was just blown away by how smooth it was. Maybe it's not smooth to other people, but for me it was. And anyways, I just thought this was so cute. So this got me thinking on other words that also have interesting ways to take words apart or backstories to the character development or character formation. So today in Nonlinear Storybits, we're going to take a look at another word that has this kind of interesting breakdown and also happens to have a little bit of love question mark in it too. So let's take a look at the word. We're going to take a look at the word 醋, or the word for vinegar. Since I did major in molecular biology, I do have a little bit of that sciencey feel in me. 醋, or vinegar, is through the conversion of ethanol and oxygen to acetic acid, which takes place by this following reaction. And so even from the chemistry itself, you see that there is a relationship between alcohol and vinegar because, as you can see, this OL ending in ethanol means that ethanol is a type of alcohol. And you actually also see this type of relationship between alcohol and vinegar in the Chinese character itself too. So this is the character word for 酒, or wine, or alcohol. If you watched Nonlinear episode number 1, you know that these 3 dots is the radical symbol or a stylized symbol for water, which makes sense because wine is a liquid. This right-hand part is the term for a vessel for wine, which people as early as the Zhou dynasty 3,000 years ago used. And you can see that this character, this part of the characters, is also found in the word for 醋. So even from just the character itself, you can see the relationship between 酒, or wine, and 醋, vinegar. And there's also a fun story that goes along with this. As the tradition puts it, in the province of Jiangsu, in the city of Zhenjiang, which is in southern China, the person who invented wine had a young son who either was very forgetful or he was just a genius. And so one day the young son left out a bottle of wine in the open, not stored properly in a cold place for 21 days. And when he came back in 21 days, he found that this wine had fermented into a very sour but tasty condiment, 醋. And so actually, if you take a look at this right-hand part of the word for 醋, it can be broken down into 年, 一, 日, 年, another word for 20, 一 for 1, 日, day, 21 day. 21 days of fermentation of alcohol becomes vinegar. So if you look when it's all put together, sorry, it's the right-hand part of 处. And this legacy of 镇江 is with vinegar still lives on today. 镇江or Qingqiang, I don't know how you pronounce that because I don't know, is one of the 10 top famous Chinese vinegars still in the market today. So what about the love part that we might be associated with, the word 醋? So the story goes back to the Tang Dynasty in the 6th century. So we have two main characters. We have Tang Taizong, who is the emperor, one of the most famous emperors of all times, and he had a subject named Fang Xuanling, who was his chancellor and had a very impressive resume. In addition to being the chancellor, he was also a very well-learned scholar. He was the editor of national history records and a lot more. It should also be noted that he and his wife, Lu Shi, were a happily married couple. He really respected her. Fang Xuanling and Lu Shi also had a very interesting story too. One time, Fang Xuanling was so ill and was potentially at the point of not making it. He told his wife, "You're still really young. If I die, don't feel pressured or feel guilty. Find another person, marry him, and start a new life." His wife knew that her husband, Fang Xuanling, was trying to make sure that she would be taken care of even after he died, especially since at that time it was a patriarchal society and women had very limited options when making a meat. She started weeping and crying and left the room. When she came back, Fang Xuanling was shocked to find that she had taken a pair of scissors and scarred her face. Some records say that she gouged out her eye, but overall, to show that she would not marry anyone else, her resolution to not marry anyone else. Because of this, Fang Xuanling extremely respected and honored his wife and would not take any mistresses, which was the custom and the culture of that time. The news of Fang Xuanling not taking in any other mistresses spread to Tang Taizong's ears. He did not know the backstory of Fang Xuanling and his wife, so he just thought it was extremely strange. So he decided to grant 2 mistresses to Fang Xuanling. Fang Xuanling tried to politely decline, but to no avail. At this point, our emperor, Tang Taizong, was getting a little bit angry. So he sent his wife, the empress, to Lu Shi to try to convince her to accept these mistresses into the household. Lu Shi resolutely refused. At this point, Tang Taizong was now really angry. So he summoned both Fang Xuanling and Lu Shi and told Lu Shi, "This is the ultimatum. Either you accept these 2 mistresses or you have to drink this cup of poisonous wine." Lu Shi, without hesitation, drank that cup of poisonous wine in one gulp. As she was awaiting death, though, something strange was happening in her mind. She realized that this poisonous wine was really sour. It turned out that this so-called poisonous wine was actually 醋. Tang Taizong was so impressed with her resolution and her courage and bravery that in the end, he gave up on any more ideas of granting Fang Xuanling any more mistresses. And it's also because of this story that the term 吃醋, eat vinegar, is a term associated with jealousy, possessiveness, in a fun way, such as Lu Shi really loved Fang Xuanling and would not let him have any mistresses, or it can be in a more negative way, depending on the context. So today's story was on Ning and Cu. I hope you learned something from Nonlinear Storybits, and I'll see you maybe in the next episode.